Hey everyone, it's Ars Random Guy and I'm back with another video. Today I'm going to show you guys one of my favorite AFK moneymakers. I'm going to be AFKing the highest level Slayer monster in the game, and I'm going to be doing it in my personal Slayer dungeon. That's right, it's time to AFK some Imperial akhs. So first up, there are three different kinds of Imperial akhs. There are the Rangers, the Majors, and the Meleers. So which ones do I pick? Well, that would be the Meleers. First of all, they always come into melee distance, so you can use the loot interface to pick up all the drops without having to run around. And secondly, even though all three types use EOC abilities, the melee ones are the easiest to deal with. So I'm using the Imperial Warrior akhs, the melee ones. Keep in mind, I am doing this off task, so all rewards are not being boosted by being on a Slayer task, like Keys to the Crossing. Overall, this method gets me about 15 mil an hour, completely AFK, just picking up drops every couple minutes. So, there is one mechanic that you might not think will work in your personal Slayer dungeon, but it actually does. And that's that when you're in the Sophanum Slayer dungeon, you have the option to toggle your chest to pick up loot or to drop it all. And if you make it drop it all, every single time you get a drop, it has a chance of being doubled. That actually works inside your personal Slayer dungeon, and this includes Vital Sparks. I will actually show proof on the screen right now. This is very important. I will get more into this later on, but for now, let's move into the build. So, I'll go into my bank to show you to make it a little easier. So, for my build, I'm using Crit Bloom. It's needed, kind of. I tried it with Ganodermic. It didn't quite live up to the standard, so I would go with Crit Bloom. Now, one thing that I would say is that I've tried both the, I'll just say Amulet of Souls, because not everybody has one of these, so Amulet of Souls. I've also tried the Arcane Blood Necklace. Both work. You'll survive with both of them. So, other than Crit Bloom and that, I'm using a Mage Cape. It doesn't have to be this one. But if you don't have this one, then just take Omni Power off of your bar. I will share my bar soon. For my weapon, I'm using the Inquisitor Staff, as it is best in slot against them. And for my ring, I'm using the Luck of the Dwarves. For my gloves, I'm using Cinderbanes, because they are poisonable. And I guess for my pocket slot, I'm using the Scripture of Wen. Any DPS help is better. I mean, more kills an hour equals more money an hour. So, there you go. In my pouch, I have a lot of runes. You don't need them all. All you need is the ones for Blood Blitz. And if you're not using a Inquisitor Staff, then Blood Barrage. So, Blood runes and Fire runes. That's all you need. And then for my inventory, I'm using Elder Overload Salves. They don't need to be salves. It's just what I have. And then I'm using a potion reservoir with an aggression potion. This one sip is here just for the demonstration that I'm about to do. And then I have weapon poison +++ and quorum incense sticks to also increase poison damage. Another thing that I also use is the XP capacitor 5000 if you have access to these. This will make you a lot more money an hour, like 500k to 1 mil more an hour. Now what you really need for this is Vital Spark Drop Enhancers. Every single time you get a Vital Spark, they're doubled. So that will turn, let's see here, that will turn Vital Sparks that are almost 400k each into 800k drops. And if you get lucky, which does happen, and actually for me happens quite consistently, of having them doubled again on top of that because all the drops are landing on the ground, it will actually turn it into 4, not 3. So that's 1.6 mil drop right there. So that's very nice to have. And then in the other pouch, I have all of these runes, but once again, you don't need them, you just need the blood and the fire runes. Then I have magic note paper. You will need magic note paper. And then I have the Ancient Ritual Shard, Ancient Elven Ritual Shard for some prayer help so like I don't need prayer restores or like prayer renewals, which I shouldn't use anyways because I have an overload salve. But other than that, I have an Excalibur and of course Feathers of Mott. You need Feathers of Mott to kill them. So please, please bring Feathers of Mott. The only other thing that I would bring, if you have the souls, is a Slayer Codex to teleport there fast. That's it. Now, believe it or not, your inventory will fill up a little bit. I normally have like 4 spaces at the end just to deal with. So I'll just show you guys. So I'm going to teleport there. Now, I am using a Legendary Familiar to pick up drops, but it's not really needed. So, in my Slayer dungeon, in I go. Here they are. Alright, 5 of them at once. The more, the better. Alright, so you'll see on my ability bar, I have Sunshine and then Anticipation. No, you're not going to deal damage with Anticipation. What is it for? It's because every single time one of these guys attacks you, the first thing they will use is Backhand, and then they won't use it again for the rest of their life. So you're going to be stunned constantly. So that's why I have Anticipation and then Freedom somewhere else down the line. It just makes it so you're not stunned as much as possible, so you can actually deal DPS and live and make money. That's it. So I'm also not going to use these because I'm cheap, and I'm only doing 1 aggression flask, so that would be a little bit of a waste for me to use an hour's worth of that for 6 minutes of aggression. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to sip an aggro pot. Let's see here, just to let you see what I'm on. I'll switch to Blood Blitz, use an aggro pot, use Animate Dead, Soul Split, Overload, Scripture. And if you want to, call your pet in so they're not stuck on that barrier. And here we are. We're literally just AFKing. I'll leave this up on screen so you guys can see it. But yeah, that's literally just it. I have Greater Chain in the beginning because if you guys did not know, some of you probably don't, but if some of you did not know, any ability you use after Greater Chain gets hit to all the enemies that actually got hit with Greater Chain. So, like, let's say if I hit this guy with Greater Chain, and then the 2 little projectiles off of the side went and hit 2 other things. And then I use Omni Power. Omni Power would actually hit all 3 things. So it's very nice to increase your kills per hour. Now, I'm actually just going to drop something on the ground so I can click on it without having to move. Ah, my pet picked it up. Okay. There you go. So now I have a loot interface. And this is it. This is literally it. That's all this is. There you go. You could also pray melee with the blood necklace, and it works too, or soul split with the blood necklace. So, it all works. If you want to use like a tier 99 prayer or something for a while, you could go Penance Aura. That does work too. I also love that the Scripture of When hits in an AoE, so it actually hits all of them. Sadly, Chain didn't activate before that, but it is what it is. This is AFK for a reason. So every single drop that it has will be worth more than a Feather of Mott. And the other perk of having a let's see here, having a feather saved will also work in here. So periodically it'll say you didn't use a feather while killing them because you're leveled up enough in Menaphos. So here we go. I'm just gonna keep going until I get a Vitality Spark. Vital Spark. That's it. And another cool thing to know is that if you use Greater Chain and then Asphyxiate, all the hits of Asphyxiate will hit all the targets, not just the first one. So while we're here, for perks, one thing I would definitely recommend is, let me show you. Oh, maybe I can't do it while in combat. Is Relentless. What it does is every single time you kill something, it gives you more damage. It just makes you hit harder. And it stacks up to 5 times. So, you can see it right here. Grants a 0.5% damage boost per stack. Sorry, will stack for 20 seconds up to a maximum of 5. So yes, I was right, for 5 seconds. Now, one thing I want to tell you is do not use a Reaver's Necklace. Or sorry, wow, Reaver's Necklace. A Reaver's Amulet, because if you start reducing your accuracy here, you'll be able to tell. You'll be able to tell real quick. I learned that when actually going for the souls. See, look, here, that one was doubled. That's from 1 kill. There you go. And now just note paper those. And because I love a very clean inventory, there you go. And then periodically you can use an Ancient Elven Ritual Shard and it'll get you back up in health. Wow, sorry, in prayer. And then every single time you take a sip, every 6 minutes, it will also restore prayer points. Those two together will just help you have non-stop prayer. There you go, Vital Spark. Oh, and it was doubled thanks to the Vital Spark drop enhancer. So that was an 800k drop right there. And as I said, you do have a chance of getting that doubled. So that could have been a 1.6 mil drop. And by the way, all the loot, like these, are alchable. So it is extra profit on top of everything. Alright, so that's about it for this one. There are other drops that you can get. I just don't think I got all of them. Let's see here. Periodically, you do get rare drop table drops, but surprisingly, they're not as common from these guys as they are with the Salawa Akhs and the Corrupted Scorpions. Another thing to know is that sometimes you get lucky. Might not happen here, but even after your aggro pot ends, chain just keeps it going. If you hit, apparently it splashed there. But a lot of times, it's really hard for me to get out of combat because my aggro pot, like, even though it's ended, Greater Chain just keeps on going because they do have a lot of health. So if you have a couple on you, Greater Chain will just keep pulling more and more and more and more in. It's not as reliable as an aggro pot, though. So let's just see. Before, Vital Sparks were insta-selling above GE price, making this technically more than 15 mil an hour. So 398k. Nope, okay, they're not. But I'm going to leave them in for that. Before, they were selling for 394k, and they were like 380 something k. So it is very nice. That's from 1 hour, by the way. So I just AFK'd for 1 hour, and that was 16.5 mil. So sometimes you can get more than 15 mil an hour, but also sometimes you can get less. It all depends on your luck with Vital Sparks. And that's it for today, guys. Thank you very much, and have a good day.